folklore Vistak, Suantraí Íosa. You're very welcome. And we're looking at the readings for tomorrow. And tomorrow is the feast, the 10th of February, is the feast of Saint Scholastica. Now, Saint Scholastica and her brother Benedict were told that they were twins. Now, we don't know if they're twinned in the goodness of God, even though they're brothers and just ordinary brothers and sisters, but they resemble one another and in so many ways, or that they were actual twins. I think it's more important that they were twins in the shared inheritance of the spirituality that they had received from their family. Family life is very important. And we see it tomorrow that Solomon, in 1 Kings chapter 11, we see that as he grows old, to use the Irish expression, he loses the run of himself. And he allows a temple for Astarte and for Shemos and Milcom to be built in Jerusalem and for offerings to be made to them, even though he had ample evidence of the goodness of God to him. Yesterday, or today, the reading warning us in the gospel about foolishness and pride, folly and pride. And Solomon, in the end, it's like watching a train crash. My heart breaks for him because he loses his way. And in the words of the Psalm 106, they even offered their own sons and their daughters in sacrifice till God's anger blazed out against his people, and he was filled with horror at his chosen ones. Why is it that the pagan gods always want the sacrifice of babies? And that has a link to our own society today and our lack of respect for human life. And Psalm 106 reminds us they are happy who do what is right, who at all times do what is just. The gospel tomorrow, Mark chapter 7. And Jesus goes off from Israel up to Phoenicia, Tyre and Sidon. And there he encounters a wonderful woman of faith. I love this woman. She reminds me of the strong loving women that I have met through prayer meetings and through my work as a priest. And she's full of faith and a sense of humor. And she recognizes in Christ, even though she's not a Jew, that here God is doing something extraordinary. And Christ recognizes her sense of humor, so he starts a ball hop with her, Irish expression meaning a joke. And the ball hop is that the house dogs, you can't give the children's food to the house dogs. He's got to first to the people of Israel. And she's well able for him with humor. And she comes back and she says, yes, but the house dogs, the pets in the house, the little pet, the fellow that's under the table when you're eating, the little fellow that even though you have your meal and you don't want to be feeding him, you slip him something because you love the house dog. And people often are appalled and they don't get, first of all, the humor between this woman and Christ, the faith encounter between this woman and Christ. And the power of her strength, she's saying, listen, this is only like giving that little pet dog that you love so much a little scrap under the table. She's a woman of fine faith. Scholastica was a woman of fine faith and also humor. The story is told that she comes to visit her brother Benedict and they spend time together, but she wants to spend more time with him. And he doesn't want to because the rule says he should return to the house. So she prays and a terrible storm arrives and he can't go home. And they spend the night in joyful association of the gospel and prayer together. And of course, she'll die shortly afterwards. So it becomes a wonderful sense of strength for Benedict. She's doing it for Benedict. She's giving again, she's a strong woman and she's a sense of humor. And she's enough of a sense of humor to know, well, he wants to fulfill the law, but God is bigger than the law. And I will ask God to help out here because I'll be gone soon. And Benedict will need the memory and the power of this night of prayer together. Thank God for wonderful friends. I'd ask you to pray very specially. Tomorrow marks the 30th anniversary of the death of my father, Joseph Ryan. I would be very grateful if you're going to Mass that you would remember him in your communion, and that if you're not going to Mass, that you would be kind enough to remember him in your prayers. Let us remember the importance that we should be people of faith and people of the gospel, but also, like the Syrophoenician woman and Scholastica, that we should have a good sense of humor. Slán agus banach déorív, agus gomanal dia ila cóptach shiv ahar mach agus spirit nev. Amen. Slán go fó. Bye for now.